Okay, quick turnaround time here. This is episode 2 of Mind Meanderings, January 22nd, 2017. It's about 1 o'clock p.m. This is kind of a part 2 of the first episode, but we'll just call it episode 2. So the first one was an introduction to what Mind Meanderings is and will be. This episode is an introduction to me. So I guess I will title it, Who Am I? One of my favorite parts of New Girl is one of the shows that Angela, my wife, and I watch. And one of my favorite parts is one of the supporting characters, one of Jessica Day's love interests, Sam. He has this existential mental breakdown where he just in front of everybody screams, "I don't know who I am. I want to go back to who I was." And it just tickled me to my core because, and I will probably throw out a lot of television references because we watch a lot of television. But that line tickled me to my core because that kind of explains who I felt or how I felt for as long as I can remember, which is not that far back, but let's just see how far back I can remember. And that's kind of the purpose of this episode for myself, is to start from the beginning and work my way to now. David Benjamin Petlansky was born August 16th, 1983 in Lower Bucks County, Levittown, Pennsylvania, to mother Terry Petlansky, maiden name Ford, current name Miller, and father David Boyd Petlansky. I don't remember a lot of my childhood. And please weigh in on this in the comments if you're at this part. I have very little memories of really anything at all. Just little flashes will occur, or different things or smells or things like that might trigger something that I thought was lost and then realize that it wasn't. It just kind of comes back. But to sit down and say, this is my biography, I couldn't do that. So I'm just going to try to give you an idea of who I am, and what I can remember. I was born atheist. When my parents divorced when I was, I think, around 9, we moved to Florida. My mom and her new husband, Glenn, my brother, we moved to Florida, Jacksonville. They took us down to Orlando, said, "Look how awesome Florida is," and then moved us to bumfuck Jacksonville. So when we got to Jacksonville, I don't know, from what I can remember, I guess my mom wanted something more. Her mom was raised Catholic, and she kind of grew up Catholic. So I guess she kind of felt like something was missing. I don't know, maybe she saw it as a way to kind of bring the family together more. I don't know, but for whatever reason, at the age of 9 or 10, she started, she started taking us to church. We started out in a Methodist church. The deacon of that church left and started his own non-denominational church. and it was a small group of people. We joined that and went from there. That church kind of disbanded, and then a new church sprung out of it. Just a series of different small non-denominational churches. I went on a missions trip to the Philippines when I was 15 or 16, I believe, for a month, and I was a very dedicated Christian, and it never really made that much sense to me. It's hard to explain. I didn't really, I don't know. I always kind of tricked myself into thinking that I felt something that I wasn't actually feeling, and I would have these conversations with God, but it would always just be me talking back, and but there was just so much approval and just there were so many adults around me that were promoting this way of thinking, and it was very natural. But it wasn't too long after I moved out of home and I kind of stopped going to church, and rationality kind of set in, and all the contradictions I felt and everything, I just kind of started looking at it with real eyes, and started, being honest with myself, what I couldn't make heads or tails of, or what I couldn't rationalize. It was okay. I honestly just cannot rationalize that because it's not rational. And goddamn, stepped on I stepped right on one of those pokey things that hang from the trees. I call them nature balls. I don't know what they're actually called, but they're sharp as hell, and I stepped on one of those. I guess that was God. But anyways, so yeah, I kind of got away from religion, and the one thing that was hardest to let go of was the fear of hell. That kind of dictated my beliefs for a very long time. And I'm currently walking down the street out in front of my house right now. Hello. So yeah, and I stopped believing at about the age of 18, and I really let go by probably about the age 21, 22. Hey Tina, how's it going? And it's been that in itself, that journey has been a big part of my life, because a large part of my family are very strong believers, and that's always kind of been just a conflict that has kept rearing its ugly face until very recently that my mom and I were able to, I guess, come to some sort of peaceful agreement. So yeah, that is kind of, and now where I stand is I don't think that there's anything out there. I don't think that there's anything after you die. I just kind of think the brain is a computer, a biological computer that tells you, who you think you are and what you think, and that's really all there is to it. And when that biological computer shuts down, it just kind of decomposes like every other biological matter, and everything that you think, you just cease to. You're nothing. It just goes back into the earth. There's no, I don't believe in any kind of soul or energy or anything like that. Which is, it's very peaceful if I didn't originally believe in a heaven that I would get to spend eternity with my family. Having that kind of to look forward to and then taken away kind of makes anything else fail in comparison. So that's, kind of one of the beasts I have with church, is that it kind of sells these ideas that you really can't prove or disprove in this lifetime, and they're just, the reward is so remarkable and the punishment is so terrible. Just kind of things that are very hard to let go of when you live in a world of what ifs and hypotheticals. It sucks to even have those be a part of the equation, and it just kind of makes me angry that they even are, because it's just, looking back, it's kind of child abuse to put that on anybody, especially a child. So that's the spiritual side of Durden Godfrey. That's my spiritual side. I don't consider myself a non-spiritual person at this point. I believe that there's, like I said, I'm very open-minded. Like I said, I have never said that on here, but I am very open-minded. I like to believe that there's something out there more than what we can see, and I don't discount anything until I can actually prove it wrong and check it off the list, which I rarely feel confident enough to reach that point in any decision. So everything just kind of remains open-ended. And I think this is going to have to be a two-parter in itself, because I've smoked 2 cigarettes here and I haven't even tapped the surface. But at least we got the God stuff out of the way. The next episode, I'll try to dive into childhood memories and that whole thing, and wrap it up with I don't know. We'll see where it goes. But this is going on about 15 minutes, 2 cigarettes in. My daughter is taking a nap. We got some things that we want to do before she wakes up. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and call this one now. Feels like a good place to put it, to be continued. So, to be continued.